Hey guys, here we are again. I'm really sorry. I know it may not seem like it, but I think about you all constantly. In my absence, I have spent a lot of time analyzing myself, this failure, and where to go from here. So I know my whole last video was me apologizing for this thing that I have done yet again, and promising to do things differently in the future. And realizing where I stand right now in my own journey towards health, I've decided to amend a few of my promises. That's not to say that I am not going to still give this my all. I'm just going to admit the fact to you and to myself that there may be some bumps along the way. These things keep happening that knock me off balance, and it seems to take me a while to recover sometimes. After much deliberation, I have decided to revamp my plan. I still have every intention of making this a weekly vlog, but it seems I have to acknowledge the possibility of these lapses, sadly. So instead of promising that I will have a vlog out every Friday, instead, I will do my best. To those of you who reached out to me in my absence yet again, some of you are the same people who encouraged me the last time I disappeared, and there are some new ones. Thank you so much. Again, I can't tell you how much it means to me receiving your messages. It just gives me so much hope. This whole thing so far has just been so incredible. I have been so moved by your responses, and that's kind of what this whole thing is. I just hope I'm benefiting you as much as you are me. So from now on, if I'm going to miss a Friday vlog, then I'm going to post an entry at depressionrecovery.org explaining that this will be the case. I definitely don't want to worry anyone, and I should have been doing this from the beginning. Part of me feels like this is giving myself a way out, but at the same time, the last time we talked, I made a bunch of promises leaving myself no wiggle room and failed miserably. So I think it's important for me to acknowledge my weaknesses, and while I am trying to find a permanent resolution for the problem, I need to have a system in place that allows for me to screw up. Because apparently it's gonna happen. As far as this most recent disappearance, while not exactly a dip back into depression, it was a lot of things put together that left me feeling incredibly overwhelmed, which led to intense fatigue and then just kind of a shutdown. When I saw my doctor last in Santa Barbara about a month ago, he asked me if I ever suffered from seasonal depression, if my depression was ever worse in the winter. I told him no, quite the contrary, that I always felt at my best in the winter. I always said that winter was the time that most closely resembled my soul. You know, cloudy, rainy, gray. It was comforting. But then when I thought about it, this was the first year that I enjoyed summer. If winter was the season that most closely resembled my inner self, then summer was the furthest season from. Summer is bright and shiny and warm, and everyone is frolicking. Winter is when everyone mopes around, stays inside because it's too dreary. But this year has been so different. I wanted to be around people. It was warm and bright, everyone's out and about, and I wanted to be out and about with them. And then winter came, and I was looking forward to it just because I always had. I didn't really give a lot of thought to the relation between the season and these couple of bouts of depression I've had. Maybe they are related. It's something I'm going to give some thought to in the future. What I do know is that there were many overwhelming circumstances that led to this current vanishing act. Some of them self-imposed, in fact most of them self-imposed, and some of them from outside sources. I know I've gone over a lot of this stuff in the previous video, and I'm not going to go over all of it again, but I'm a pharmacy technician. It's far more busy in the winter time because so many patients are sick, resulting in so many more of them coming in for medications, and on top of that, the employees all get sick too, so we're shorthanded constantly. So that is stressful for sure. Also, I touched on in the last video that I have had a falling out of sorts with a close family member, and that has dominated my mind since it happened. I thought it would be resolved a long time ago, but I failed to take the initiative that I had planned to, and now it's just kind of sat there for far too long, This family member broke the silence recently and called me, but I didn't pick up. I just couldn't bring myself to pick up the phone. I'm going to call back soon. I just have a lot on my plate in my head. So that was probably the biggest thing, but there were so many others. I was so excited at the premise of having a Christmas unfettered by depression that I think I took on too much. Not only did I tell my mom that I was going to have all the decorations down from the attic and a tree bought within first week of December, I also said I was going to decorate the outside of the house. I was very excited. I didn't do any of those things. It turns out I was going to let Christmas go by with no decorations. My mom took it upon herself in the week before Christmas Day and decorated by herself because I had shut down. Thank you again, Mom. I also decided to participate in the Secret Santa for the first time in 12 years at this job, and I may have gone a little overboard. I think in a good way. I happened to draw the name of someone I hold in high regard, and I knew this person had gone through some fairly difficult times this year, and I thought, what an opportunity to do something significant. So I put some real thought into the gifts, and hopefully I got something that was personal and meaningful and beneficial. One of the things I decided to do was to include a letter. And once upon a time, I had taken up calligraphy, and I decided to give it a go again. And I thought I'd write a letter on some parchment-style paper, explaining the gifts that I got, along with some general words of encouragement. And through this, I had what I thought was a phenomenal idea, in that I would write my family members a letter as well. But to my family members, I would say things that I had been meaning to say for quite some time. I wrote a letter to each of the family members I'd be spending Christmas with: my grandfather, my mother, and my brother. As it turns out, this was a far more formidable task than I had originally thought. What I thought would be an easy process of sharing the way I feel about those closest to me turned into a chance to make amends, I guess. So these letters, I had originally thought they'd be a page or two long, and that by the end each one was, I think, 3 or 4 pages long. And it turns out my hands don't work quite the way they used to, and they cramped up on me constantly. All in all, the writing of the letters in their rough draft form, and then the final product, which was on parchment-style paper, handwritten in calligraphy. I even went as far as burning the edges of the paper, along with, I bought a wax seal stamp kit. I wanted it to feel important and fun, I guess. I also wrapped all the gifts in brown craft paper and used jute string to tie them, and used old tea-stained tags to write names on. I finished my gift for the Secret Santa in the nick of time, and it went over great. In fact, the recipient wouldn't even open the gifts because they were too impressed with the wrapping, and were determined to find out who was responsible before they opened it. And in the end seemed to really like all the gifts, including the letter. It made me very happy. Mission accomplished. With the letters to my family, though, they just took on a life of their own. What began as an afterthought soon became so important in my mind that it was the primary gift now. This letter, and especially to my mom, who, she and I over time have just grown further and further apart, despite in my early life being so close. This became an opportunity to put us back on the right track, to finding that common ground again. So it turned out there was so much that I had to say. And then penning the letter with a sporadically functional hand. I didn't actually finish the letters. I made everyone push off opening gifts until early evening while I tried desperately to finish these letters. And in the end I had to give up, and I didn't get to give them their letters until, I don't remember, 2 days or so after Christmas. But they all went over really well. I said a lot of things that I've always thought and never said, and especially with my mom. We just talked today about it again. She gave me a letter of her own today, saying that she's read my letter 3 times now, and is so glad that I wrote it. I guess she had thought what I thought she had thought, that our relationship would, eventually meet its demise. Now we're on a path of understanding one another, and ultimately things are so much better. In addition to all this, and granted maybe because of all of these self-imposed tasks, I have been experiencing a malaise of sorts. A depression maybe, but more just discomfort and fatigue, stress. I think it has much to do with letting the things that are causing a stress in my life alter my healthy habits. I have never been a health-conscious person, not physically or mentally. I actually was a smoker for 10 years, 2 packs a day for most of it. I quit, I don't know how many years ago. Now I've lost count. I didn't quit to be healthy, though. I quit so that I wouldn't get lung cancer. As I got older, that thought became more real and scary, so fear really caused me to quit smoking. But I've never exercised. My diet has always consisted of a majority of fast food. But then post-ketamine, everything changed. I feel like I've probably done damage to my body the way I've treated it all this time, and that I have a lot to make up for. Over the past few months, I've really been focused on I've been trying to weed out unhealthy habits. I've made quite a few positive changes, and almost all of them have fallen away, at least temporarily. I stopped doing my vlog. I stopped adding to the website. I stopped exercising. I stopped eating healthy. I stopped journaling. I stopped reading and listening to podcasts. So after analyzing this chain of events, I have come to the conclusion that I have taken on too much too quickly. There are so many things I want to do with this channel and the website, adding on tasks that require dozens of hours over the course of a couple weeks on top of working, probably not the best idea in hindsight. That being said, I'm not going to stop taking on too much. Taking on too much is how great things get done, I think. So from now on, I'm just going to try harder not to beat myself up over my shortcomings. I'm just going to ride it out. I'm going to have successes and failures, hopefully more successes, and I will continue to analyze and probably overanalyze both successes and failures in hopes of reducing the number of failures and increasing success. So just to reiterate, if this happens again, which hopefully it will not, I will post an entry on the website indicating that there will be no vlog this week because of insert reason here. So just a heads up, the following week on the 18th I have another appointment with my doctor in Santa Barbara for another ketamine injection. So if anything interesting comes of that, that will be the next video uploaded. This time I will not forget my SD card, and I will definitely record the session. Whether or not it turns out watchable is a separate issue, but in closing, I want to share a funny story. Or at least it was funny to me. While spending dozens upon dozens of hours writing those letters, I was listening to classical music, which I do when I need to think. And this song in the playlist had come up by chance. The song is Miserere? Miserere. Maybe not pronouncing that right? This song, coincidentally, has come up in my playlist the past couple of times while undergoing a ketamine treatment. This song has become a song of enlightenment to me. It's a very beautiful piece. It's very soothing. By chance, yet again, during epiphanies while undergoing ketamine, this song hit perfect crescendos, making the moment seem that much more important as I'm having this revelation in my mind. It's become kind of an important song to me in a way. So my brother hears the song and yells at me from downstairs, "Are you unrustling your jimmies?" And while I instantly knew he was referencing an old internet meme featuring an angry gorilla and the caption, "That really rustled my jimmies," and later a peaceful gorilla with the caption, "My jimmies remain unrustled," denoting either the state of being upset or not, I still didn't draw the connection. And then he reminded me that that's the song Miserere from a somewhat famous YouTube video featuring this song, a flying lawnmower, and a content gorilla. I know that sounds strange, and it is. When we first discovered it, it was weird, and it was funny, amazing, and peaceful, and so suddenly this song that for a moment had meant so much, and then to suddenly realize that my first encounter with this song is through this ridiculous YouTube video meme thing. It just made me laugh. Somehow I think it makes it even better. I'll put a link to the Know Your Meme article in case you're curious about where it came from, and a link to the video itself in the description. I highly recommend you check it out. I'll end with the words of the description of the video. Beneath a soaring lawnmower and a serene gorilla, there is no need to be upset. Shh. No tears. Only dreams now. Unrustle your jimmies. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and I'll see you soon.